We will never see you again. We will never see in that order. Do I use it to Sakaro?
start a new career as a Linux system administrator with an average salary of $80,000 to $120,000 a year. Dynamic Tech Academy has transformed many lives for the better through our 6-month Linux program. We are so excited to announce that we are adding DevOps course and Red Hat certification at no charge, which will make students more competitive. Over 80% of our students have no prior IT background, yet vast majority of alumni land jobs in 3 to 6 months after they start applying. Our ultimate goal is to reach 100% student employment, so we work with every student until he or she gets a job. Upon successful completion of the course, we will provide resume building, interview preparation, and job placement assistance. With the Linux course, you get more than 300 hours of in-depth training, and you get to learn from experienced instructors. By the end of the program, our students can be Red Hat certified if they choose. Our alumni work in companies, both government and private companies in the USA, Canada, and even Europe. Want to learn more about the program? You can contact us at info@dynamicdmv.com, or you can call us at 240-604-9505, or you can call us at 240-423-7865. And you can also visit us at www.dynamictechdmv.com. If you are interested in online classes, please register on our website. That's once again www.dynamictechdmv.com.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay.
Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership looking for that used car that perfectly fits both your lifestyle and your budget? Are you bored with the same old tactics, the same old styles, and the same old disappointments when you don't find exactly what you want? Are you frustrated because of bad credit or tired of being rejected of in-house financing? Are you tired of going from garage to garage for a car? How about that filthy old car that you used to drive? Are you done? Welcome to the new experience. Barrico Auto Sales has sold and financed cars to over 50,000 people across the country. Our exclusive in-house financing model allows us to provide flexible options for all. Enjoy low rates, free pickup, and award-winning customer service. Reserve today. Barrico Auto helps make car renting easy and seamless for all of our customers. Our financing options allow you to shop our vehicle inventory for the exact used car, truck, or van that best fits your needs. Car selection and customer satisfaction are of great importance to us. We provide the best mechanical repairs, and our services take just minutes. Detail your car with us and get out of that filthy old smell and into something sweet. We will even do your oil change at the lowest rate. And please do not forget that with Barrico Auto Sale, you own and drive your car before you even have to pay us. So come on down and visit us and drive away with your new car.
Barrico Autos. Own and drive before you pay. 240-486-4664. www.barricoauto.com.
Who no know say now you be the best. Who no know say now you be one mama one mama oh, oh, oh. Come on, come on, come on, let's do it now. My baby my fine baby. My baby my sweet mama. Let me tell you something about this, my sweet mama. The only woman who give it me to grow and make me a man. Thank you, for the love you showed me. Without you, my Bamenda, I nobody existed. Thank you, my Bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the strength you said for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one leg. My Bamenda, my fine baby. My Bamenda, my sweet mama. Some people say you too small to change the country. Others say you're not big good for make things work. But just a name in this country, people them they shiver. The way we are picking them, they hustle. People them they wonder. Thank you, my Bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the strength you said for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one leg. My Bamenda. My brothers and sisters all over the world, whatever you do, always think about your home. It's a place where you will come back some days. Let's clean it up, let's build it, love. Thank you, my Bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the strength you said for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one leg. My Bamenda, my fine baby. My Bamenda, my sweet mama. All the hard-working sons and daughters of this great northwest region of Cameroon, I want you to stand up and dance, because the time has come when we have to put our heads and hands together in order to build this our lovely and only region. You are rich, I am proud of you, you are strong, you defeat the whole Cameroon like Africa in the one.
hear me? We are no fools on the hill. My people are no fools on the hill. You must let my people go, so we can rule from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's hands, so we can rule our purpose land. I wanna know who owns the land. Who wanna know who owns the land? Okay, now listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So, Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know who owns the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we wanna know who owns the land. I wanna know who owns the land. Aslan, hey, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan. We must be free. Angola want to know who owns the land. Mozambique want to know who owns the land. Namibia want to know who owns the land. I say, Soweto want to know who owns the land. Zimbabwe want to know who owns the land. African freedom fighters want to know who owns the land. Papa Slam. Now listen to the history. We've been here since creation. We've been here since creation. What else do I know? Since the time of sun and sand. Since the time of moon and stars. Since the time of air and sea. Since the time of men and things. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. I said, we must rule our purpose land. Purpose land. Oh! Okay now I want to talk to my people. Iradanila oh, Ewolo. Yeah, Iradanila oh, Ewolo. Epilisoro Badaneba. Now we are the crossroad. Onofemo Dogbera. Epilisoro Badaneba. Onofemo Dogbera. Ofalimu Meyagbera Baba. Ofalimu Jasu Yaraka. Ofalimu Tizanya Betonye. Omnije. Omnije. Ojemelo dem na bogise. Ofalimu ojemelo dem na bogiso.
Salsa.
Oh, please don't.
sorry for that interruption, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to ABC Amber Television Live. That is the only reason why I have to say welcome, because this is live, transmitting live from the city of Houston in the state of Texas, here in the USA. It's a privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to be in your homes tonight. I am now referring to all of you watching from Ground Zero. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the end of lockdown. It is 7 p.m., about 7:30 p.m. on Ground Zero. On Ground Zero at this time here in Houston is just 12:30 p.m. That is afternoon here. On Ground Zero is 7:30 p.m. In Washington, D.C., it is 1:30 p.m. In the state of California, I think it is 9:30 a.m. That is how diverse God has made this world to look like. So it's a privilege once more to come back to you today. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, wherever that you are. I also want to welcome those of you in Europe, in Asia, in Canada, and in South America. Of course, most especially to the Amber Restoration Fighters, Restoration Forces out there all over Ambazonia. Thank you so very much for the wonderful feat that you put up over the week for lockdown. 6 days lockdown. As we approach midnight on Ground Zero, I just want to say to you, we want you to go out and have fun and behave as if nothing ever happened. We have sent a message to La République du Cameroon. They are aware where we stand. The world knows where we stand. The world knows we are never ever going back to live with La République du Cameroon again. And I can assure you there is fear, trembling in La République du Cameroon as I come to you tonight. We'll learn of an emergency cabinet meeting in the presidency in Itudi at 5 p.m. Amber time. I guess by now that meeting would have been over, or it is still holding. Mr. Biya called for an emergency meeting after their elections of yesterday, the other day. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wonderful day to be here to witness what Ambazonians are doing. Dr. E.M.L. Ndele will be doing spins in this tomb, knowing that what he prophesied many years ago is coming to pass. Ndele said, if you vote to go live or to join La République du Cameroon, you will live to regret. And we have lived with regret for 57 years ever since. We have lived in regret for 57 years ever since. We have given Foncha names. We have given Muna names, ST Muna names. We have given others names for selling us to La République du Cameroon in 1961. Fellow Ambazonians, we no longer have reason to label them names. If any names at all should be labeled, it should be to this generation. That is, if we should fail the next generation in this generation, if this generation should fail the next generation, how many of us would want our children to go through the experience that we have been through? I had Ambassador Fossum here not too long ago, and I saw the old man wept. The old man wept. At his age, he should be enjoying his retirement. I've also seen people. How about Dr. Info, who is languishing in jail, in Kondenge? He has nothing. I don't think he still has anything to benefit from a free Ambazonia. But that is a man who has given his life for this revolution. In Mola Njoli Tumbe, the Ndangams, the Ntang Christopher Ntangs of Ambazonia, they are old enough to say we resign our fate, we want to enjoy our retirement. But they have said we are not enjoying any retirement until the generation of our children is free. Fellow Ambazonians, we will have ourselves to blame, no longer the monarchs, no longer the functions, if we fail our children in this generation. So it's a wonderful thing to be alive. The good thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are making it. We are making it. And we have made it. It is a matter of time. La République may be living in denial. Their cronies may be living in denial. Their cronies may continue to sing a one and indivisible or a federal Cameroon. Ambazonians know we are gone past that level. We are gone past that stage. We have erected a flag. We have erected an anthem. We have erected our national colors. We have given ourselves the name of the new country. And nothing, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is taking us back. Nothing is taking us back. And of course, finally, we have erected a national army, the Ambazonian Restoration Forces. Ambazonia Restoration Forces, and the world is hearing from them. They are marching the trained army of La République du Cameroon with what they are able to manufacture on their own. They don't have the armor cars. They don't have the machine guns. But they have home-produced weapons that are making a good match of what La République du Cameroon buys in Russia, buys in China, buys wherever they buy arms. That is what God is doing. We have to give God thanks. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. We got to give God thanks for what He is doing for Ambazonia. We are going to be the newest country very, very soon around the world. And those who have prophesied doom, those who have prophesied we are going to be the next Sudan, oh, it is not going to happen. It would never happen. It will never happen. We are going to be the best country that God created in Africa, the best democracy in Africa, the richest country economically in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fighting for a country in which you will drive from Boya to Bamenda in 2.5 hours, 3 hours. We are fighting for a country in which when you are sick, you won't have to go to the hospital to pay a dime in the hospital. We are fighting for a country in which our children have free education, not a useless education that Yamande provided us. You go and pay school fee, hundreds of thousands in the year, and then you study geography, you study economics, you study literature in English, you study English language, study English. Come on, what stupidity was that? Children go to the university to go and study geography, economics, English language? For what career? For what profession is that? And even those sent to the professional schools like ENAM, ASMAC, ENS, and so on, you still have to come out and write concours to get a job? What a damn country we have lived in for 58 years. Ambazonians, we are looking for a better country. A better country in which you will not be treated based on the language you speak. A country in which you will not be treated based on what state, what region, what county, what LGA that you come from. A country in which we will all our children will have equal opportunities. That is Ambazonia. They're going to be the new United States of America in Africa. I am talking in terms of infrastructure, in terms of quality of life and job opportunities. We're looking for a country in which you will find work to do. That is the new Ambazonia we are looking up to. So ladies and gentlemen, again, it's a privilege to be with you here today. Lockdown is officially over today on Ground Zero at midnight. Lockdown will be officially over. Tomorrow, being Wednesday, the 12th of February, we expect everyone on Ground Zero to wake up and go back to his job site, to his business site, and take care of your life, take care of your family. It's going to be a moment of reflection, ladies and gentlemen, moments of reflection. We have plans ahead. We have plans ahead for our restoration forces, for the prosecution of the revolution. And I have invited here with me some of those who made this lockdown and election rejection a big success. We are going to hear from them. We are going to hear from them. Later in the program, I shall also have Barrister John Fruso joining me to give us his interpretation of what took place on October 9 and what Yaoundé is thinking now and planning now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to know the war is not over. The war is not over. The war is just beginning. As I said yesterday when I came to you, you saw the quality of artillery in the hands of Ambazonia Restoration Forces all through this week of lockdown. That is already beginning. When we started this war, we started with den guns all over the place. You were hearing audios every week of, oh, we don't have G0, sticks, and so on and so forth. And then later on they began to cry, we want AKs. Ladies and gentlemen, I am really exhilarated to inform you that the level has changed. The level has changed. The 2 cubes of sugar have actually transformed into iron. Iron that never dissolves. Iron that will never dissolve. That is what this battle has turned into. And I bet you, La République du Cameroon and their cronies in Yaoundé, they are regretting every single day that they let this war go past 2016. Yes, they are regretting. They can deny the reality that we are gone, but I bet you, I can assure you, they are living in regret. Unfortunately, this is God's plan. This is God's plan. This is God's plan, ladies and gentlemen, for Ambazonia. It's a wonderful privilege to be alive today. I wish Ndele was alive to see what his children, his grandchildren, they are doing today. I wish they were alive to see and to cheer us. But we thank God for people like Mola Njoli Tumbe who are still alive. People like Ambassador Fosong. People like Gorgie Dinka. People like the Ndangams, the Christopher Atangs, and so on. The veterans who have seen this struggle all through the years up to today. I am talking about from the 80s, the 90s with AAC1, AAC2, and now we have this happening today. These are people who have been there. They thought this was going to happen in their own day. It didn't happen in their own day, not in their own time. But we thank God for their lives. They are alive to see us where we are today. And by the grace of God, we are getting there. I just wish one more person was alive. That one man, Albert Woma Mokong, who lived for Ambazonia and died for Ambazonia. He went to jail for Ambazonia. He is also gone. He is one of those I wish was alive today to see his children, his grandchildren, taking back their destiny, something he fought for all of his life. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today from all over the globe, from Ground Zero, from Tunisia, from Rwanda, from Tanzania, from wherever that you may be. It's a privilege, it's a wonderful privilege to come to you today. Again, I have a special panel with me, actually two panels with me that will be coming up. They will be coming up not simultaneously, but in segments. I want to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, two very, very special people whose handsome faces you find on your screen. From my right, you have the one and only Secretary of Home Affairs, Secretary of Ambazonia Home Affairs, Comrade Ambrose Etanja. Am I correct? Did I get the last name right?
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, it seems I can't hear you.
You are right. You're correct.
I am correct. Thank you. Thank you. And right there in the middle, you have the man whose voice you hear once in a while. The one and only spokesperson for the National Self-Defense Council, Ambazonia National Self-Defense Council, Comrade Langmi, all the way from the state of Ngo Ketunjia. Comrade Langmi, it's a pleasure to see you, sir.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. It's my pleasure to be on your show.
Wonderful, wonderful. I want to welcome all of you. Now, the two of you, and of course, I don't want to minimize the contribution of others, but the Home Affairs Department in particular and the National Self-Defense Coalition or Council are the two departments that saw this lockdown. You know, let me say this. Many people think that everything that happens on Ground Zero is Secretary Chris, right? Lockdown is Secretary Chris. Impeachment is Secretary Chris. Everything you imagine is Secretary Chris. They don't understand that there are people like you in the background who are doing this thing and pushing me ahead to go and say it. Right? Secretary Ambrose, that's right?
You're correct. You're correct.
All right. So the two of you, your departments were the brains behind this lockdown, the strategy that got it a success. I just want Secretary Ambrose to please come in here. Give us your appraisal of what you saw on Ground Zero beginning the 5th of February, the 6th of February, up to today, the 11th of February. Please, Secretary Ambrose.
Secretary Chris, thank you for inviting me to the studio today. And Comrade Langmi, thank you for joining me today. I would like to, first of all, thank all the people of Ambazonia all over the world, those in the diaspora and those on Ground Zero, for the commitment, for the determination they have shown over the past 4 years. And talking of the lockdown, it's been a lot, it was a lot of effort which was put in, a lot of communication between the different departments, a lot of communication with the restoration forces on Ground Zero. For all the security heads, which are called the sec heads for the different counties, the different RGs, I do appreciate the work you put into top generals on the ground. And for those generals who listened and implemented all the strategies, we remain very grateful. From the 5th, we knew things were going to happen because we were informed things are already in place. We were watching a movie, but a good movie. We watched a movie for this period of time for almost 6 days, and it was a real movie in which we came out victorious. But all this is just because we planned a lot of these things meticulously, working together. I think all the security heads of the RGS and the vice security heads or the security councils of the different RGS working together day in, day out together with the Department of Self-Defense and the Department of Home Affairs, and the counties and the LGA chairs. So it's a group of more than 500 people having meetings upon meetings to make sure that this coordination goes well. And the only thing that remains is we are proud of Ground Zero because they are standing firm and believing in it more than most of us. So Secretary Chris, it's been a victory, it's been a success, and I can rightly say the meetings we put in, the effort we put in, the man hours we put in, yielded the desired fruits. And I hope that we are going to build on this and get to a different level. So I will tell our friends or from the other side of Mongol, please pack and leave. We are just starting. As you mentioned, the war is just starting. We are just starting, and we are going to escalate it using our Amber Peace Plan, which has proven to be the right tool for us to be able to push the enemy away from us. Thank you.
Talking about Amber Peace Plan, I think at this moment, Amber Peace Plan has become the cornerstone of every mobilization in this struggle, because now everything we have to go back to the counties. Everything we have to go back to the counties and the LGAs. I observe one thing, Secretary Ambrose, I observe one thing, that during this lockdown, the forces, the restoration forces we observe all over Ambazonia were all coordinated by, through the Amber Peace Plan, talking about the county by county or LGA by LGA. How would you appraise that first experiment? I'm saying that this is important because in other lockdowns we have seen forces from some little pockets of forces here and there coming in, not directly controlled by the interim government. But in this case, in this present case of the lockdown, almost all, I would say all of the forces we found on Ground Zero were coordinated by the counties and the LGAs under the interim government. Give me your appraisal of their performance and their discipline.
So what I would say is the job they did, the way they behave themselves, it's just the best we expected from them. They have reached a level whereby we'll be able to say, we have it now. We have people who can represent us in every LGA. We have people who can defend our people in every LGA and in every county. But thanks to the security heads in the diaspora, the security councils of all the LGAs in the diaspora, and thanks to also those in the diaspora who are making sure they contribute monthly so that the boys on the ground, they get the granules they need, they get the sticks they need, and they get the food they need. So it is a combined effort of those of us, two civil societies. Let me put it. We have two major civil societies. The civil society in the diaspora, whose job is to be able to mobilize the fund, the financial potential comes from the diaspora. And the civil society on Ground Zero, whose job is to defend our people and gain the freedom for us. So what happened is we are already working in sync now. And maybe, 1 year before, it was difficult to bring this thing together, but right now, we are working hand in gloves. We are really in sync. The different LGAs on Ground Zero are working hand in hand with the LGAs in the diaspora. So the two civil societies are doing a great job working together. So that is why we are getting the success we had in the last few days. It will be better as we go ahead.
I will come back to that, but let me get to Comrade Langmi for a moment. Comrade Langmi, let's talk about Ngo Ketunjia. I saw something that I haven't seen before. The Bambalang, I think some Bambalang Marines. When I first saw that little footage of the Marines, I thought this was a lot of people to Cameroon Falls. In fact, I never knew you had I don't know whether it's a lake or a river in Bambalang that big. When I saw those guys looking so professional, I thought these were La République du Cameroon soldiers. Can you give us a little background to the Bambalang Marines, please.
Thank you, Secretary Chris, for having me. And I'm so sorry about that. Hold on.
That's okay.
Thank you for that question. I will begin by thanking our Ambazonians, our able and capable restoration forces. I will thank our parents for respecting the lockdown 100%. We have sent a clear message to La Republic of Cameroon that we are gone, and we are gone for good. Before I go to the question, I would like to say something about the Amber Peace Plan, which I will extend my appreciation to Secretary Ambrose, who is here with me, because I can authoritatively tell Amazonians that if today we are in Boya, we have a functioning government that is accountable, that is from the bottom to the top. It's not like what we are having in the Republic today, where it is from the top to the bottom. But coming to your question, Secretary Chris, we have Marine Force in Gokutunja. How they came to existence. I know most people don't know that the electricity we are having in Cameroon is because of the Bamijin Dam. And we have this water body there that supply enough volume of water to the Sanaga for in Edea, and that is where we have this water body. And we have the Marine Forces there that they are operating. They are very professional. We have trained them for specific targets, and they are not just the one that we have. They are not just the only professional we have in Gokutunja. In fact, Gokutunja has been structured in a way that all the forces in all the 13 villages are professional, and they act according to some set of rules that every citizen of Gokutunja are proud of them.
So, prior to the lockdown and the elections, there was a lot of fighting in Ketunja. I remember Balikumbat, Babungo, and I think one other place where the chiefs and the farms there were fighting the restoration forces and getting the locals to rise up and protest against the restoration forces. How did the lockdown as a whole and this scenario prevail over the lockdown period in Ketunja?
Yeah, Secretary Chris, you know you cannot hide the truth. The people of Ambazonia, just like the people of Gokutunja, want their freedom, and they want it right now. There is no way La Republic is going to pretend that they still have control over us. The situation in Gokutunja was a little bit unique because after the talk in Yaoundé, the so-called dialogue, national dialogue talk, they came up with a lot of words like special status, and one of the special status that Gokutunja had was to have a son of Gokutunja from Bamising who was appointed as the senior divisional officer, Mr. Konge Anderson. He came in with a lot of vicious idea trying to lure the people to rise up against our forces. He did that in Bamising. He equally instigated working together with the farms and the local chiefs in Balikuma to steer the population, just a few portion of the population, to rise up against our forces. But I want to tell the people of Ngokutunja, thank you for your resolve to seek for your independence, because we have risen above manipulation. We have risen above manipulation. Our people have sent a clear message to Mr. Konge Anderson and to La Republique du Cameroon that we want our freedom, and there is no way he's going to use force. There's no way he's going to use money. There's no way he's going to use manipulation to lure our people to go back into slavery. Our people have risen, and they have risen never to fall back again. They have risen to gain their freedom, and there's nothing, Mr. Anderson and the BIA regime that they would do in Gokutunja to take the people back to where they were before. The people send a clear message to Mr. Anderson during this lockdown that whatever he did was just playing around with time, because Bamising village, where he's coming from, respected the lockdown 100%. Balikumbat village, where some portion of the population rose up against our restoration forces, respected the lockdown 100%. Every other village in Gokutunja respected the lockdown 100%. And I would say thank you to the people of Gokutunja for being very, very hungry, or very, very thirsty for their freedom. I have lost Secretary Chris.
Hear me. I was speaking to Secretary Ambrose that the story was the same everywhere in Amazonia. All the towns, the cities, the villages, the roads, the markets, all shut down. What have you been able to, what is your appraisal of the entire picture of lockdown? I mean, this is a lockdown unlike any other one we've had. Why do you think it was so successful? Is it the planning, or is it the people, or what?
Secretary, as Comrade Lamin said, our people have been intimidated over the years. Our people have been penalized over years for standing against French Cameroons. So what we give to our people is the courage that they need in order to stand up to these people. The only way you can be able to succeed in such a lockdown, it is using your own people to talk to your own people. In every RGA, for example, in my RGA is Ngi, we made sure we had, because in our RGA, like for example, the Ngi RGA, we have village coordinators. So all the 19 villages, they have village coordinators. We send them around, they talk with the people, educate the people. They tell the people what we need to do and why we need to do that. So with these village coordinators, they are doing a marvelous job with our forces on the ground to make sure that the people follow the instructions with both and to make us succeed. It is the same thing that happened in Mezam. It is the same thing that happened in Lebialem, the same thing in Kupema and Nguba. So, I mean, the planning is one thing, but again, the structure we have in place under the and whereby we have the smallest, we call it the precinct, the smallest ones are the villages, and then we come in with the local government areas, and then we come to the county. So at these three levels, we made sure that we sensitize our people, we made sure that we educate our people until this resounding success is just because of creating the awareness and the education to our people, and then they feel they want the freedom. So the fear is still in them anyway, because most of them are being killed by the French Cameroon soldiers because they do obey us. But again, we'll continue educating our people, we'll continue working together with them to succeed. When the people stand with us, then there is no doubt that it's going to succeed.
I will pose this question to the two of you. Looking at the composure of our restoration forces, we saw their discipline throughout this lockdown. Quite different from what we have seen in the past lockdowns. They were very engaged, particularly Falco and Meme. Was there anything different that you did for these two counties?
I will talk for Meme. Yeah, Meme has been a county whereby we've had a series of meetings engaging with the different urges. We have 3 urges in Meme, and Meme in itself, you cannot identify who actually belongs. But the Kumba urge, the Monge urge, the Konye urge, we've had serious meetings, serious planning. And I would really say the Kumba urge under the control of Comrade Tony, we work day in, day out to be able to make things happen. And also Konye, we have Onjo Rika who is in Konye, and then with Benji who is in Monge. So there was a lot of communication, there was a lot of fundraising behind the background, and I do appreciate so much the efforts of the elites of Meme in the diaspora for supporting the lockdown, for supporting the forces. I mean, it's a lot of effort coming in from the diaspora and also from the boys on the ground, and also our people on the farmers. They did their best to support the boys. That is why Meme is what it is now. So Fako, I don't think there's a lot of difference.
Because if you observe, Victoria was extraordinary this time. Victoria and Nkambe are 2 places in this revolution that everybody has complained about. But I think this time Victoria outwitted Nkambe by shutting down completely. What are you thinking? I will ask again, this question goes to both of you. What are you thinking? Is Victoria going to stay locked down? After this lockdown, when we impose lockdowns?
Well, Secretary Chris, I would say this change, this wind of change that is blowing all across Amazonia, and no one is going to be left behind. Victoria, I would say thanks to General Fombart, who has been working so hard to make things happen in Fako. And during some of our meetings at the National Self-Defense Council, he emphasized on the fact that he was going to do all his possible best to make sure Victoria respect the lockdown. But what I would tell the people of Victoria and the people of Kambe is this: they should fall in line by respecting the rules and the regulation of Amazonia, because we have a special package for them. The Amazonian National Self-Defense Council have a special package for the people of Victoria and the people of Kambe. They should never be deceived. They should stop deceiving themselves that La Republic has anything over them. General Fombart had a very good package for the people of Victoria, and they respected it. And I want to tell the people of Victoria, thank you for respecting the lockdown this time. We hope that you continue in that spirit, because Amazonia is going to be one and indivisible. There is no part, not even a single part of Amazonia, that will be controlled by enemy from outside. So I will say that Victoria is falling in line with the program we have for all Amazonia. The National Self-Defense Council was having a good plan for a very, very robust plan for Victoria, but I would say General Fombart did his best to make things happen in Victoria.
Secretary Ambrose, you have something to add there? Secretary Ambrose, it appears we can't hear you.
Secretary Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go on, please.
Okay. So Fako, under the county chair, Edwin, has been working extremely very. I think you remember, it's few weeks back, Fako was under attack from different people in the diaspora who thought they could be able to change the momentum in Fako by giving monies to some few individuals to disrupt the restoration forces in Fako. It was a difficult time for those in Fako. I kept on talking with the county chair talking also with the LGHS and the General Combat. It was a very difficult time. So now the whole thing is the boys are now in line. The mountain lions, those in everywhere in Fako, they are now in line under the Ambazonian Restoration Forces. That is why things happened the way they did. Because if this disruption that was coming from some activists out here who think that giving 500,000 to a person to disrupt the restoration forces is going to help. No, these things will be on the sweat of most Ambazonians. The people we have on the ground, the forces we have, the mountain lion and other forces in Fako, we deal on the sweat of the people of Ambazonians in the diaspora and those on ground zero.
Now, so talking about disruption, Secretary Ambrose, we have learned, this is very, very serious, very, very important. We have learned that the Kondenge IG held a meeting just a few days before this lockdown. And they strategized and agreed that the only way they would infiltrate and destroy this interim government is to form parallel counties and parallel LGAs to beat the existing counties and the LGAs, and they will use those structures to also destroy or to also create parallel restoration forces or forces on the ground. I understand you have a recording of that event, of that meeting that Kondenge IG held behind bars. Can you put a picture out there, what you learn, what you know?
Secretary, it's really disgraceful that people go sit in a meeting, in that meeting from the and recording, there was people like Yeriman, Dr. Fontem, and all the like, and they go talking about destroying the LGAs and the counties. I ask myself, if you are a true Ambazonian, the only thing that has brought us so far, you want to destroy it just because Dr. Sako Ikome, our president, has become a nemesis to you. Why? You know, when you I have these audios, in, I will play to Ambazonians at one point, but the whole thing is, I ask my question is, something that has brought us this far, something that has stopped our boys from crying for lack of granules, for lack of sticks, for lack of food. You want to destroy it. And it's a shame that when I was writing the Amba Peace Plan together with you and Dr. Bongwa and Dr. Sako and the other people who helped us build this Amba Peace Plan, Comrade Yerima was the Undersecretary of the Home Affairs. So if there is anything to protect, it should be protecting the Amba Peace Plan than thinking of using resources to destabilize the Amba Peace Plan, to destroy the Amba Peace Plan. The only thing that is helping us fight the enemy. Now, I was reading from Abdul Karim today, and he said, some people say they are more Ambazonian than others. Yeah, well, this is a phrase many people are using. Oh, that some of us think we are more Ambazonian than others. Sure, of course. When you go holding such meetings to destroy something that is working, you still call yourself Ambazonian? When you go for federalist agenda, you still call yourself Ambazonian, please. Federalists are not Ambazonians. Ambazonians are Ambazonians. The Southern Cameroonians are Ambazonians. Federalists will never be Ambazonians. I won't share a table. I won't share a meal with a federalist. You decide. Are you with French Cameroon?
Hold on there for a second. You bring up a very, very important point. Federalists cannot be Ambazonians, and of course there are some Ambazonians who are more than others. You just quoted Dr. Fontem Neba being part of that Kondenge meeting in which they plan to destabilize the counties and the LGAs. Now this is the same Fontem Neba who was at the airport in Boston only last weekend. He was one of those choosing to go to the airport, just a few of them, I think about 7 or 10 of them, to go to the airport in Boston to receive Maurice Kamto, and somebody will say something that they are more Ambazonians than others. I think you are very, very correct. Go ahead, sir.
So let me say this. Federally, not Ambazonians. Let's stop pretending. You understand? We, the Ambazonians, we stand for one thing: restoration of our statehood, independence or nothing. That is what we stand for. No matter what. It may take us 15 years, 20 years. But let me tell you, we stand for nothing than the restoration of our statehood. We stand for nothing than the freedom of our people. 13 people killed. Let me tell you, 13 people, 13,000, let me say 13,000 Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, murdered in cold blood. Then you see you dine with these people. Dine and wine with them. I'm sorry. Then you are not Ambazonian. Yes, French Cameroonian. Please,
so let's
join
go back.
them.
Let's go back to the plot of the Condenge government about destabilizing the counties and the LGAs by LGAs. And let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, our audience watching right now. When you see activists out there raising money, saying they are raising monies for that county, for that county, for this local government, for that local government, please open your eyes. That money is not going to the local government and the counties that belong to this interim government. It is a plot coming from the Condenge IG for these activists to raise money for their own counties and LGAs they want to create to destabilize these ones. Comrade Ambrose, if I'm wrong, correct me.
No, Secretary Chris, you are not wrong. The thing I've always said is we have the structures in place. We have the counties, the county chairs. We have the bank accounts of different counties, bank accounts, urges. So please, if you actually know, let me just deviate a bit. I'm sorry. Comrade Milton Takan was the very first person to come out to be talking about a successful lockdown. The question I was asking him is, what is your urge?
Right.
What have you contributed to your urge? I know his urge. What has he contributed to that? No, not even a dime to his urge. But his boys were there making sure that the lockdown was enforced. You know, don't contribute to something, you are jumping up to start talking. Now, is there any Southern Cameroonians who can stand up and say he doesn't have an RGA? Of course, an RGA can be where you were born or where you have your investment. Okay? You can belong to one or two different RGAs. But these individuals, they don't belong anywhere. He Jumba Akura and all that. He's from Momo. I've not seen him contributing a dime to our county, Momo. He's from Batiba. I've not seen him contributing a dime to the Mogamo people. Yes, you want the boys in Mogamo to succeed. You want the restoration forces in Mogamo to do things. How do these boys do these things? Sometimes I sit and wait because I talk with these boys every day. It is difficult for them because even food to put on the table is not easy. These are people who have families like us, for crying out loud. Okay? But the sacrifices they are putting in to make sure that we succeed. If we in the diaspora can just put in 50% of what these individuals are putting, then we'll be in Boya tomorrow. I am telling you, June will see us in Boya. I think we are not too late.
Talk about this plan by the Condenge IG to create these parallel counties and LGAs and forces on the ground. What is behind this? What do they want to achieve? Is it just to destabilize this current IG, to overtake it, overthrow it, or there is something else behind that we don't know?
This is how the audio goes. This is how the audio goes.
Comrade Lagme, I know you want to say something. Yes, Comrade Ambrose, go ahead. Okay.
So this is how the audio goes. Comes in a speaker and he asks a question. So what are we going to, the question was precisely, what are we going to do with the LGAs by LGA, county by county, the Amber Peace Plan?
Who asked the question?
Which is one of the person in the meeting from the audios, right, from the recording, which is the pillar on which the government of Dr. Sako Ikome is built. That is the word used, which is the pillar on which the government of Dr. Sako Ikome is built. Then comes in one guy, I think he introduced that at Dr. D or something like that from Germany. He went on and said, okay, we either create parallel RGS and counties, or we invest a lot of money to make sure that we destroy it and that the RGS and counties do not exist. You know. So it went, it's a long audio, but the Ambazonians will get it. I was sent through that audio trying to email. I listened to it with a lot of disgust. I was just like, there should be nobody saying that he's Ambazonia and just want to destroy what has helped us get this far. Because I can remember years back when we just had a lot of groups. You know the problem, let me just touch this problem of groups. We had groups, whether it's ADF and this, but let me tell you, these people were raising funds, lots of funds. This money was never going down to the boys. You understand? At that time, I was the AAC commander for Mbui. The funds were never getting to the Mbui warriors. They were never getting to any warriors because this individual raised these funds and even signed checks in their own names. So these funds goes into their private pockets. If something gets down to the boy, it was just a drip. That is what was happening. But now the whole thing is, we've changed the game, Secretary Chris. Let me tell you,
and that is why the people are mad. They don't raise a statement without talking about my trip to Boya because they know they embezzled the money, they squandered the money. They got my trip to Boya, they ate it, they squandered it, and the hole is closed. And now they are mad, and now they have activists out there raising money to give to them to put in their pockets in the name of counties. We have said, we in the BLM county, we have taken a decision. No activist will send a dime to that county because that county is so rich to be asking for a dime or taking a dime from any activist out there who, by the way, does not stand for the independence of Ambazonia. When you find activists associating with the Bas, with the Federalists, with the Camtos, you cannot count them as one of us. Let me get to Comrade Langme, who was going to make a contribution to the point you were making. Comrade Langme, go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you, Secretary Chris. I think Ambazonia should be wise enough to see the light. We have gone a long way for us to know who are standing for the independence of Ambazonia and those who are just playing this social media game. This interim government, I will say this to the people, to Ambazonians. If you want an account of your money that you contribute to this struggle, contribute to this interim government. Because someone from my local government area, if he contribute money to that local government area, is able to ask the local administrators, how is my money spent? How do you guys spend my money? I think the structure now, before we go to this point, there have been some loopholes, but I think at this point now, we have a clear structure that all the money that is contributed to this interim government is accounted for. But I want to tell all Ambazonians, any money contributed to this interim government is accounted for. And the notion that because these people are doing the right thing and we are not going to align with them because they don't support us, I think Ambazonia should grow up more than what they are doing right now. We are suffering our people. Our people are dying on ground zero. Our mothers are living in the bushes. Our parents are just barely surviving. And I think this is high time for us to know that success for Ambazonia or freedom for Ambazonia is for all of us. The notion that people will go an extra mile trying to destabilize what is working, I would say it is really it's a shame to Ambazonia. Very, very shameful. I know this. I know what Secretary Ambrose is talking about. We also have similar situation in Gokutunja where we have people that are trying to do everything to destabilize the structure that we have put in place, the structure that is under this interim government, and it is shame. And I am still appealing. Ambazonia is for all Ambazonia. we know we have people with weak-minded people that think that federation is the way to go. But I want to tell them one thing. Federation is not what we stand for. This interim government stands for total independence, and there's no way we are going to back out of this point. We will gain our independence. I don't think it's going to be 15 years like Secretary Ambrose have said. If all of us can come together, raise the money that we need to sponsor our guys down there, La Republic is going to back out sooner than later. That is what I would tell the people of Amazonia.
Okay, I will ask both of you the last question. The elections are over. We rejected the elections. However, La Republique du Cameroon, as you all know, will come out one of these days to announce the results of the elections, and you will hear that in Ndop, so and so person was elected mayor. In the BLM, so and so person was elected mayor.
Secretary Chris.
Yes, sir.
Can I interrupt a bit?
Yes, please.
I'm just reading a comment, and I think there's a comment from a comrade, Ocheba Nelson, which is taking what I said about Abdul Karim out of context. And let me read what the scholar said, and later Comrade Ocheba is taking it out of context. A Muslim scholar wrote, "Some people think they are more Southern Cameroonian than others. This is increasingly deployed by enablers and traitors." Answer: yes, all Southern Cameroonians devoted to the liberation of our people via truth, history, legality, honesty, and peace are not only better than enablers and traitors, but they are incomparable. Inter alia, these enablers and federalists contradict their equivocal, embarrassing position by running after Camto, begging for a two-state federation. It seems they admit Camto is more human and more Cameroonese than them. Yes, even in church and in the mosques, there are VIPs. Baby Martyr spirit is more Southern Cameroonian than you all bloody enablers and traitors. This, I was saying, a Muslim scholar has confirmed to us that not everybody, as in this statement they say, people are saying some people think they are more Southern Cameroonian than others. Of course, there are people who are more Southern Cameroonian than others.
Absolutely.
And a Muslim scholar is not different. So the comment from Comrade Ocheba Nelson is already out of context, because normally he was confirming that they are more Ambazonian than others. Some people are more Ambazonian than others. So
you are essentially saying the same thing that Comrade Karim said.
Yeah, but in the comment which is here from Ocheba Nelson, I warn Ambazonians about Abdul Karim and Dr. Fontaine, which is the person you should be warning people about is Dr. Fontaine, not Abdul Karim, who is a strong Ambazonian and stand for the independence of the people of Ambazonia.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay.
The equation is very simple. The equation is simple. If we are standing for Ambazonia, it means we are more Ambazonia than someone who is standing for federation. If you are standing for federation, it means you are Ambazonia and you are also have another country. That is just the simple truth. If you are standing for federation,
absolutely. Anybody who is not standing for what Ambazonians want is an Ambazonian, at least for the moment. Now let's get to the last question. As I was about to say, one of these days, La Republique will come out with the results of their elections, and they will say, oh, they elected so and so person for BLM County as mayor. They elected so and so person for Ngoke Ketunja County as mayor, for Mezam as mayor, and so on and so forth. What are we going to do? Do we have any mayors? Do we have any councillors? Do we have any parliamentarians? What is Home Affairs and the National Self-Defense going to do to make sure that none of these so-called elected personalities set foot on our territory?
Secretary Chris, let me take this. I'll ask you a question. What does a mayor do to the people? Well, I don't know, because community mobilization has been what has kept us over the last 56 years. They give us schools without a bench, with nothing, without even a classroom. We, the villagers, We come together, we build these schools, equipped it with benches, and then they start asking our children to pay school fees, even in primary schools and secondary schools. They give us schools with no teachers. We start contributing money to have PTA, parent-teacher association, contribute money to pay the teachers. So please, now, in our communities, in our LGAs, we are expecting us to reinforce the community development effort. Those chiefs who are loyal to our people will be able to work together with the community to build that community. They should be the people we should be turning to. Our councillors or our county members, our LGA members will have their councils. And these councils they will be responsible for what is happening in that LGA and reporting.
Somebody would ask, how about setting up the same county structures that we have in the diaspora on ground zero in each of these counties? They don't need to come out and publicize themselves, but secret structures of that nature, so you have authority, you have somebody that you can speak to on ground zero as a person representing that county. Is that possible?
Oh, Secretary, these things are already happening. We have, we call them ghost coordinators, ground zero coordinators, right? That is why things happen, because these coordinators are there because they are civilians. They are not Amber Boys. They are not the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, but they liaise with the Restoration Forces, whether it's, we want our boys to focus on doing what they do best, defending the people. And we use these coordinators to make sure the boys have what they need and to do the work, the job, that is it. So we already have in most of our LGAs, not all, I will be exaggerating, these structures in place. And we are going to work hard to make sure that we replicate this all over our territory.
So you can assure the people on ground zero that after this election, we're not going to have SDF or CPDM mayors. We're not going to have SDF or CPDM councillors. We're not going to have any of these elected personalities showing up on Ambazonia. Comrade Lagme, you are the defense guy. What will happen to any of this person who shows up on ground zero trying to assert some authority?
By standard of the NSC, Ambazonian National Self-Defense Council, there was no election and there is no elected officials that is going to come to represent our various local government areas. There is no election, so we don't know about any official that is going to come and impose an impostor that will come and say, I am the mayor, I am the councillor, I am this. The word from the Ambazonian National Self-Defense Council is clear. Anyone standing in that capacity will be dealt with accordingly. And I just want to make this clear to those who are still thinking that their name will come out from Yaoundé and they will be jubilating that they will have authority over our people. That is a big lie today, and that is a big lie tomorrow, a big lie forever. We are going to make sure, in fact, the disposition is already there in place to take care of those people. Today, as we speak, the mayor of Balikumbat, he said he won the election whatsoever. When there was no election, his house was set ablaze by some unknown individuals. Now he's using the military to go around burning people's houses because of that. But I would tell Mr. Augustine Wasson that his days are numbered in that local government area. We are going to flush him out of that place, and we are going to flush every other mayors or councillor that has Yaoundé is going to pronounce their name as winners of their various local government area. We are going to flush them out very, very aggressively. For that one, you can bet on my word.
Comrade Ambrose, I'll take the last word from you.
Okay, yeah. What I will tell my people, our people on ground zero, is you don't need to worry. Anybody whose name appear on the list before and after the election, those who have already put in their disclaimers, resignation, and are forgiven is fine. But for those whose names will come out from that list, please, I think there are enough councils in Yaoundé, enough councils in Douala, Betwa, and all the like, please go and join those councillors and work in those offices, because there will be nothing in our territory. There will be nothing. And Comrade Lamni will do the job together with the NSC to make sure. I think you are talking with the Archbishop. The Archbishop will do the job to make sure that the Archbishop and the Bishop will do the job so that those churches will pray for them. That's the best thing we'll do. Those in that congregation will receive our prayers.
Okay, all right. Thank you, gentlemen. It was a pleasure to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a brief break out. We're going to take a brief break out. And when I come back, I will bring in Barrister John Fro, and so who will give us his analysis of what happened yesterday and what La République du Cameroon is planning right now, the aftermath of the elections. Again, Secretary Ambrose and Comrade Lakme, thanks for joining me, sir.
And thank you, Secretaries, and thank you, Ambazonians, for watching. And I hope that this was educative enough, and we'll continue fighting. I think we'll be in Boya sooner than later. I forgot to say one thing. Sure. I had a chat with His Excellency Dr. Sako before coming to the show. We are doing great in terms of diplomacy. Again, it's golden. We are keeping these things very close to our chest. So it does promise that as you are doing your job on the ground, we are also pushing to unprecedented level with diplomacy here in the diaspora. So stay positive and stay tuned to things that will happen in the next months. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Chris, for having me on board. I will say to Amazonia, be faithful and believe in your freedom. There's nothing that is going to stop us from getting to Boya. Just support your various your local government areas with the finance that they need to make this thing happen. I would thank all Amazonia again for respecting the lockdown. It was wonderful. We believe in our people, and they know freedom is better than the half bread that is being given to them from Yaoundé. Thank you again.
Thank you for tuning in. You have a great night, sirs.
Thank you.
Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership looking for that used car that perfectly fits both your lifestyle and your budget? Are you bored with the same old tactics, the same old styles, and the same old disappointments when you don't find exactly what you want?
How are you?
Are you frustrated because of bad credit, or tired of being rejected of in-house financing? Are you tired of going from garage to garage for a car? How about that filthy old car that you used to drive? Are you done? Welcome to the new experience. Barrico Auto Sales has sold and financed cars to over 50,000 people across the country. Our exclusive in-house financing model allows us to provide flexible options for all. Enjoy low rates, free pickup, and award-winning customer service. Reserve today. Barrico Auto helps make car renting easy and seamless for all of our customers. Our financing options allow you to shop our vehicle inventory for the exact used car, truck, or van that best fits your needs. Car selection and customer satisfaction are of great importance to us. We provide the best mechanical repairs, and our services take just minutes. Detail your car with us and get out of that filthy old smell and into something sweet. We will even do your oil change at the lowest rate. And please do not forget that with Barrico Auto Sale, you own and drive your car before you even have to pay us. So come on down and visit us and drive away with your new car.
Barrico Autos. Own and drive before you pay. 240-486-4664. www.barricoauto.com.
Start a new career as a Linux system administrator with an average salary of $80,000 to $120,000 a year. Dynamic Tech Academy has transformed many lives for the better through our 6-month Linux program. We are so excited to announce that we are adding DevOps course and Red Hat certification at no charge, which will make students more competitive. Over 80% of our students have no prior IT background, yet vast majority of alumni land jobs in 3 to 6 months after they start applying. Our ultimate goal is to reach 100% student employment, so we work with every student until he or she gets a job. Upon successful completion of the course, we will provide resume building, interview preparation, and job placement assistance. With the Linux course, you get more than 300 hours of in-depth training, and you get to learn from experienced instructors. By the end of the program, our students can be Red Hat certified if they choose. Our alumni work in companies, both government and private companies in the USA, Canada, and even Europe. Want to learn more about the program? You can contact us at info@dynamicdmv.com, or you can call us at 240-604-9505, or you can call us at 240-423-7865. And you can also visit us at www.dynamictechdmv.com. If you are interested in online classes, please register on our website. That's once again www.dynamictechdmv.com.
All right. Welcome back, fellow Ambazonians. I am now joined by the one and only Barrister Fru John, who is joining me all the way from the state of Maryland. Barrister John, I hope you can hear me. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Chris. I can hear you 5 on 5.
Wonderful. Great to have you back again. Let's start with your own. What do you think is going on in Yaoundé now after the rejection of their elections on February the 9th? What do you think is happening in Yaoundé now? There was an emergency cabinet meeting summoned by Paul Biya himself today at 5 p.m. Amber time. What do you think is going on in their minds and in that meeting?
This is what I know.
Okay, what do you know? Not what you're thinking.
No, what I know.
Good.
Because I have my sources.
All right.
They had concocted results in our territory. And it looks like it's backfiring. And that is why they are holding that emergency meeting. They concocted results to release them to say, parliamentarians have been elected here and there and so on, so that they can come and sit in Yaoundé. It looks like...
What do you think concocted results have to do with an emergency cabinet meeting? I mean, all the cabinet members don't have to...
I am saying that the reaction from the international community plus reaction of the people concerned who are afraid of their lives is making them hold that emergency meeting. That is my suspicion about the emergency meeting. I don't know much about the emergency meeting, but I know that they have concocted a list. They will be announcing results that don't exist. Of course, you know that we boycotted those elections 100%. So if they are putting up anything, we all know that it's fake, and the international community knows. And since there have been these reactions from the European Union and from all the other stakeholders, international stakeholders, they are now holding meetings and they don't know what to do. They are in total panic. That is what I think is the object of that meeting that just took place in a 2D. Because not only Ambazonians boycotted, on their side, the participation rate was not up to 25%. So what are they going to do? They have a problem in their hands. That is the object of that emergency meeting. But having said that, we know that nobody was elected anything from our territory because nobody went for election in our territory. And those that you saw on social media living at Yaba Hotel and walking, gathered by armored cars and soldiers on foot, going to one small old town school and voted, there were not up to 20 of them.
What do you think?
Those are the Felix Mbayo and his cohorts brought in from Yaoundé. There is nobody from Amazonia who went to the polls. Therefore, anything that comes out now, that's what I say is concocted, because I had that information long before the elections took place on the 9th. And the information got to me on Saturday the 8th. And I tell you, I have people in Yaoundé monitoring the situation.
Some people are saying the essence of the meeting is to make sure that all their cabinet members quickly implement their special status now that the elections are over.
Well, I wouldn't argue with anything because I don't know the object of the meeting. I told you I'm suspecting that they are now in a fix and they want to find out or want to fine tune or whatever they want to do to implement their devilish agenda. But like I listened to our National Defense Council person,
yes,
Lamia. Anybody who values his life should not come to our territory claiming to be a parliamentarian or claiming to be a mayor or a councillor elected by us. He will be looking, he should be telling his family to prepare his coffin.
What do you, how do you think the international community is going to take the conduct of this election?
Yeah, Chris, it was a referendum on La République du Cameroon by the Southern Cameroon Ambazonia. It was a referendum. Even the United Nations now should be concluding that Mr. Biya and his government no longer have control over the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. So the consequences will follow. I am not going to say anything because I don't know much as to what is happening at the diplomatic level, but all I'm telling you is what I'm reading.
Do you see added pressure on La République at this juncture to pursue the Swiss mediation with urgency? Yes. Because why La République was still dragging her legs was because they gave the excuse that they have to wait until the elections are over. I guess they wanted to see our participation, the level of our participation in that election. And as you said, it was a referendum in which we said we are not only voting. We're not showing out, but we're not voting, and we don't want your vote.
Exactly. The message has gone to the international community. Now the question is, are they coming right away to the negotiating table, or they'll have to, or they'll continue to play? The international community is getting ready. That's my suspicion, to take whatever action they will take against the Republic of Cameroon, because it is now established that we have vomited them from our territory. And I'm suspecting that from tomorrow, our restoration forces will start putting plans together to clear their structures out of our territory.
Oh yeah, that is what has to be done. Everything, every symbol, every interest of La République du Cameroon would have to be cleared out of Ambazonia. We are talking about anything like governors, DOs, mayors, so-called government delegates, all government offices, the gendarmerie, which are always considered to be a symbol of their operation.
Yes.
That has to go. Every mounted signboard in French in Ambazonia has to go. This is the beginning of the dismantling of the structure that is La République in Ambazonia.
Exactly, Chris. Let me take this opportunity to thank our people on Ground Zero who were resilient. They have been resilient since from the beginning, and it showed these last 6 days. And especially on the day of the election, not one of us came up. And you talked about Victoria. There were no elections in Victoria. Let's make it clear. There were no elections in Victoria, neither were there elections in Boya. If there were any elections in Boya, it was the military and the police, and we saw those images going in and voting, and so on and so forth. And even in Dian, Chris, they went there with drones,
right?
Putting drones in the air and said they want to be watching and they want to protect all the polling stations in Dian. You will not believe that. You protect what? When people are in their homes, will you go and remove them to come and so that you protect them to vote? So that is what it is. And I'd like to thank our restoration forces for the job that they did for these 6 days. They showed that they are now in control, and they are now solidly the Ambazonia restoration forces under the interim government led by Dr. Saku.
Now, what do you make of this statement? Remember, there was an assassination attempt on the Ngole, and we are told that at the radio station in Douala, he made this statement. He said, "The unsuccessful attempt over my life yesterday illustrates the fear under which government officials operate in that area." He is referring to all of Ambazonia now. It is time for the government to start talking with those boys. If we must have effective administration in that part of the country. This is coming from Ngole, a huge crony of that regime. You can feel the fear in his mind. Could this be one of the reasons they're holding an emergency meeting in Yaoundé to figure out how their administrators voted can go and live in this part of their country, so-called?
Chris, you can believe me. Ngole missed it by less than an inch. This was firepower from our restoration forces.
Right.
He is lucky to be alive. I don't know what he's talking about. We should be doing the opposite. We will not want any structure of La République on our territory anymore, beginning from tomorrow. And therefore, if Ngole is dreaming that they should start talking to the boys and send administrators and so on and so forth, that is a dream. It's a pipe dream. He should go to sleep.
I think they really tested. I think the way Ngole will talk over the media now, it will be a little bit different because he tested a little bit of the fire.
He is a Republican. The Republican. Everything he does is Republican, and a Republican. Therefore, I don't know what he's going to say now on the press hour that he has always been appearing. But he missed it, and he should thank his God that he's alive. He should stay in Yaoundé. I am advising him to stay in Yaoundé because Kupe Maninguba is too hot for him. Too hot for him. He should be praying to God that he is alive, And I don't know. I don't know what is on his mind. That statement he made on in Douala was very pregnant, Chris, very pregnant, and he is dreaming. We will not want anybody acting on behalf of La Republique of Cameroon in any government office in our territory anymore. The operation starts from tomorrow. Let this word go to Mr. Biya and his regime. The operation starts from tomorrow.
Absolutely, absolutely. How do you see them dividing the spoils of this election? No, it's only between them and the SDF. I saw some fictitious results from Libyalam County, and in Menji they said 180 people altogether voted. The CPDM had, I think, 95, and the CPD and SDF, I think, had the CPDM had, I think, 175. SDF had 5, I think. In Alor, LGA, the CPD, they were all together 190 voters, and according to the results, if they are the correct results that I saw, CPDM carried 190 something. I mean, how are they, going into this election, getting the SDF into the election, the idea was we will give you more parliamentarians, we will give you more councillors and more mayors. It doesn't look like it's going to be so.
It doesn't look like it, especially in our territory. It may
Right,
look
that's
like
what I
it.
mean.
It may look like it in the Francophone territory, like the Western province, where there was massive boycott. They may want to distribute those seats in the Western province. And in our territory, even the people who are supposed to be taking those seats are now frightened.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to cut and run. Chris, that is the message I'm getting from ground zero. A lot of people who thought that, it could happen like it did in last year or the other previous elections, and they went and sat in parliament and they were talking and blah, blah, blah. It is over. Anybody whose name appears on any list going back to Amazonia will be doing so at his own risk, and we cannot say what is going to happen to him. Like our National Self-Defense Council, Comrade Lamnia just said, the structures are in place. Nobody will present himself in our territory under any circumstances because there were no elections in our place. Don't mind those figures that you hear from Menji. Those are the cook figures, Chris. Because with the field marshal, how do you pass to go to Menji and Law and all that?
No, they flew a helicopter there. I think they said 5 or 6 times on the 8th. On the 8th, they flew the helicopter there, dropped people, went back to Chang, pick people, drop there, pick people, drop there. I guess that is how they got 180 people in Menji.
And did they carry them back in helicopters?
They actually did. They actually did. I learned yesterday, right after the elections, they were carried back in helicopter to Chang.
Chris, let me say this. The international community has satellite imagery. Anything that we do, the world is a global village. Anything that they do, the world is watching at them. The fact remains that there were no elections in Amazonia, and therefore we are not expecting any elected officials in our territory.
I'd like you to sit for a moment and take a look at this footage here. This took place in Kumba, and this is Benjamin Eto'o. Watch it, please.
Okay, they have blocked the road. Block the road there. Il te couvre, ça avec toi.
blender légèrement. L'entrée, c'est là. Avancez légèrement, l'entrée, c'est
Look at that lady in there. Very frightened. Very frightened. That woman in there is not at peace. And you look at the former minister, Etue, what was the other name? Etue, Benjamin Etue, sitting by the lady who is very frightened, looking very worried.
It's in mind.
Now, Barrister John, the point here is, this is Benjamin Etue, a man who has been in retirement, I guess, for how many years? Ever since I left Cameroon, I guess it's more than 20 years now. This is a man who should be enjoying his retirement. Why is it that our people never have to think about their people and their children? What is Benjamin Etue doing here? What if he died? He would say he was dying for what? For La République du Cameroon?
To Chris, you have to understand these people. They're in all kinds of sects. They have been mentally colonized. They believe that La République is everything for them all their life, and they want to hang in there till they die. Look, I feel very sorry for Mr. Etue, because the rings that I saw him touching and so on will not help him. You know that the soldier who was shooting up there was shot and killed?
Oh, that soldier standing up there was shot and killed?
He was shot and killed.
The one standing there?
Yes, he went down to take something. As he came back up, a bullet got him on the head.
I learned of that story. So that is a soldier?
That is a soldier.
So what happened to the ammo car?
Another soldier took over. I don't know what happened. I think they managed and escaped. I don't know how, but Etue is alive. I don't know about the state of his heart, but he's alive. The only person that was killed there was that soldier, and they managed to escape the firepower of our boys.
That is very pathetic. I wish
and
it was
And the soldier died on the spot, Chris. On the spot.
That is horrible. I wish it was Etue who went in his place, because at least he spent his life.
And the blood of that soldier spilled on most of them in that armored car. They had their
that is the armored car we are seeing empty with blood.
Yes.
In another picture.
Yes.
Unbelievable. All right. I want you to stay put again. Take a look. Listen to this. This is somebody asking Maurice Kamto a question. I'd like you to listen to the answer. This guy asking the question is possibly one of those federalists, not one of us. But I think he asked a pertinent question, and I'd like you to listen to it and give me your take on the answer from Maurice Kamto. Listen, please.
Hard work that you've done, for the bullets that you've taken for all Cameroonians. I'm Paul Tima. I'm from Mancon, Bamenda. I'm a very proud Anglophone, and like you, I'm very touched by this issue of the Anglophone crisis. I want to highlight that I'm not a militant of the MRC, but I'm a big sympathizer. I buy the vision of the party. But I have a problem with your position. I appreciate the fact that you stand for a federal system of government. I am a moderate. I align with somebody like Barrister Abuonkongo. But you seem to have issues with the 1961 federal system. And I personally, my knowledge, what I've learned, my circle of friends, a lot of Anglophones who identify themselves as moderates will not accept anything less than a two-state federal system. You said you would discuss with them, but your position seems to be tilted towards a 4 or 6 state. What if Cameroonians or Anglophones come on the table and say, Kamto, we need just a 2-state federation? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother.
So listen to the answer.
Thank you very much, sir, for your testimony and your question. Thank you very much, because you give me the opportunity to come back to the issue and explain exactly our own position. The question is, let us assume that we go back to 1961 federalism, 2-state federalism or federation. Okay? After having done so, will the Anglophones or the English-speaking state composed of Northwest and Southwest, will it be able to oppose the other parts of Cameroon to organize itself as a federal state? That is the question. That's why my point is that I start with dialogue, negotiation, or whatsoever. Call it what you want to call it. Dialogue with Anglophones. We agree on the federal system, the content they want to see in the federal system. Once we have done so, then I see.
So, Barrister John, this is what Kamto is saying. He is saying, yes, I initially supported a 2-state federation in case of a federation for the Southern Cameroons, which he addresses as Anglophones. However, I had a second thought. I am paraphrasing him. However, I had a second thought. If I give the Anglophones, as he calls it, their state as existed in 1961, would Anglophones allow me to give East Cameroon the same federal statute? What will Anglophones say? So Kamto is saying, no, Anglophones, if I became president, I can't give Anglophones their original status of 1961, because then the other part of Cameroon, they too will demand their own federal structure. So I would prefer we have 5 states. I have heard him mention 5 states or 5-state federation. This is a man who is changing like a woman changing wrapper. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Kamto has never, ever dreamed of resolving this crisis. Paul Biya is a gift that keeps on giving. We have to pray that Paul Biya remains there until he dies there, and when he dies, let it be we have achieved our independence. Barrister John, let me tell you something. In this, when was it? I think it was sometime mid last year. I got a phone call from Professor Fogel. Fogel, I believe you know him. He is one of the leaders of the MRC. He gave me a call and said, listen, we want to work together with you. We are having a meeting in Ghana. We'd like us to meet in Ghana and have this meeting and plan together and work together. And I asked him, we meet in Ghana, plan together and work together. What plan does the MRC believe in the sovereign Southern Cameroons? He said, don't be worried. We're going to talk about that. If you want us even to go back to 1961, we will do it. That is what he told us. But that is not the same message that Kamto is putting out there. Please give us your thoughts on that.
Yes, Chris, let me start by saying that the guy who asked that question is from my village, is an enabler. He is a militant of Agwabala in Boya. He is here in the DC area. He is a man command from where I come from. We consider him an enabler. He doesn't come near any of us. Secondly, the question that he asked was pertinent, and this defeats my theory that Kamto is the most dangerous intellectual that I know. In fact, Paul Biya is better because we know his position. We know exactly where Paul Biya is. But can we say that we know the position of Kamto? Like the invitation you gave him, Chris, let him come on ABC television and give us that position, because so far, so many positions that we begin to think that a man who wobbles up and down is the most dangerous person that you can deal with. So my take is that Kamto is the worst, is worse than Paul Biya, because he hasn't got a position to stand on. But he has one position, is that he will never see that Ambazonia will be a reality over his dead body, and let him stay with that. But he is now going from, he started with 2-state federation, as you just said. Now he is in 5-state federation, and he claims that he is the author of the special status. So where does he belong? So that's why I call him a very dangerous lawyer. He's a very smart lawyer, but he's a dangerous man politically. And we have told our people in Maryland and Washington area that nobody should go to that meeting. And that Paul, who calls himself a scholar of Agobala, that's a federalist. He says he's a moderate. I don't know what he means by that. He is not an Ambazonian. That is the type of people that my friend Karim was talking about. Those are the people. He defied our order and went to meet Kamto, and you saw the presence he levied on Kamto. He is an enabler. He is not an Ambazonian.
Kamto is pulling a lot of crowds, though, in Europe and in the USA, and of course Canada. Do you see that translating into anything?
No. How do you? They let him go and pull the crowd in La République du Cameroon. Pulling crowds abroad is very easy. It's very easy. If people like to hear you talk, people will come. Let him go back and pull the crowd there in La République du Cameroon. But I want to say that he is becoming popular in La République du Cameroon. But we have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with him. Because he's more dangerous than Paul Biya. I would prefer that Paul Biya stays there and dies. Because we know where he's coming and we know where he's going. Sound.
That's the point. We all want Biya to remain there, because Kamto will be the worst thing that we ever expect over there in Yaoundé.
Yes. Well, we are waiting for them at the negotiating table, whether it's Paul Biya or Kamto, because my sources are telling me that Kamto is negotiating very hard with the French and with the US to replace Paul Biya with him. So let's watch and see what happens in the days ahead.
I have heard of some people talking about some mediation opportunities arising in Europe, precisely in Norway. Have you heard anything about that?
No, Chris. I don't know. Let us hear it. I don't know anything about that.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we had it for the day. I wish I could open the phones for Ground Zero to make some phone calls. I have
special request. Can you open it even for 5 minutes so that we hear from our people?
I have some construction going around here. I don't know whether you can hear it from my microphone, but I will try. I will try to do that. I will try to open the phones for maybe just about 3 calls. And let's see whether we can get the sound good. You can hear some construction going on.
Yes, I can hear. But we can manage.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, some of you have the phone line. Go ahead and make the call. If you can make a call, go ahead and make the call. You have the phone line on your screen. right now. So go ahead, and we want to hear, especially from those of you on ground zero. Barrister John, so now the elections are over, lockdown is over. What would you suggest should be the way forward in keeping and securing the gains that we have made?
I am waiting for the policy speech from our president tomorrow. But having said that, my suggestion is that our restoration forces should now go to phase 2. Phase 2 is flushing out all La Republic structures in our territory. All. Any government office that opens from tomorrow onward, it's a legitimate target for the restoration forces. I hope our president would emphasize that, because I am waiting very, very, very anxiously for that speech tomorrow. Because that will make sure that we have cleared them from our territory. And I'm calling on the United Nations to now send a peacekeeping force so that we can start a reconstruction of our territory. We have the means. There are people standing by to give us the money, Chris. The means is there. We just want them out of our territory. We want the
Hello. All right, Barrister John, let's take the first caller calling from ground zero. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Fako County, precisely in Ekona.
Precisely in Ekona. How was Ekona today? Ekona, Moyuka, all of that locality. How was it today?
Ekona was very calm today, very calm. But we had a sad news this afternoon.
What happened?
In a small village after the CDC camp here, they call Malale. The military went in there, and then the military went in there on civilian dress using 2 taxis. So they saw a guy, and the guy saw them, started running. Then they shot the guy, so the guy died at the spot, and they retreated. The military retreated.
And the military was using a taxi in plain cloth. Correct?
Yes.
So this is the new tactic they are using now, using taxis and dressing as civilians and shooting innocent people walking on their farms.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Oh Lord.
Yes. So that is a new strategy, and it's the same taxi. Yes, that's what's actually happening. The same taxi they use is the same taxi they came on the 24th of December. They came and then took one mobilizer that was working when World Food Program came to.
You are breaking up. You are breaking.
Yeah.
Yes, go on. I can hear you now.
Taxi they came with is the same taxi they used on the 24th of December, while World Food Program was sharing food with the Reach Out. So this guy was a mobilizer with a Reach Out. They kidnapped him that morning. So as they kidnapped him, they took him. We only discovered him dead. They only discovered him dead on the 2nd of January.
All right. That is so sad to hear. Thank you for that information. We appreciate it.
Chris, can I say something? The restoration forces in Muyuka and Ekona and so on should take out any taxi. That particular taxi should be taken out. It's a source of danger for us. Chris, are you on?
Absolutely, that taxi should be figured out and taken out. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello, good evening, sir. I guess you are calling from England.
I'm calling from the UK, yeah, CNMSEC here.
All right, thanks for the call. What contribution do you have for us, please?
I'm sorry, Chris, but I'll take your viewers a few minutes back on an issue that we raised with Secretary Ambrose and NSC spokesperson Langmia.
Okay.
Regarding the parallel LGS and county from the KICG.
The Konenge IG, okay.
That's correct, yes. What I wanted to say as an input is that sometimes the realities and dreams are far-fetched. If you look at how much effort we have put in the LGS and the counties to be where we are, and what it's going to take the KIG to put that down and mount a challenge, I would gladly give them the challenge and tell them to go ahead. I wouldn't bother, because you know what we have done to be where we are.
Absolutely. Nobody is stopping them, right? They have the right to do anything they can do.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are on the same plane with this, Secretary Chris. And if you can pass that on to them, tell them we are happy for them to take us on that challenge, and we are happy to take them on. I saw quite it was worrying the way it was presented, but give it a second thought, you'll see that it's a mission, impossible mission for them to accomplish. So let us give them the green light to go ahead. That's my input. It's Niju here in the UK.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Thank you. Thank you.
Barrister John, anything to add there, please?
No, I think he's right. They will. Let's see them at work. We will take them out.
Well, that is assuming they can make it. Because I think what the caller is saying is that they think it is easy to create those structures. It's not.
It has taken us a lot of effort to create those structures, and for a whole year, for a long time.
Hello, can you lower the volume of your set, please? Hello.
Yes, Secretary, good evening.
Please turn down the volume of your set, and for everyone who wants to call, please make sure the volume of your television.
I have already done that, Secretary Chris. I've already done that.
Okay, everyone calling, please, before you call, make sure the volume of your set is turned down. Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
It's okay. Yeah, I'm calling from Gabon.
From Gabon.
Wow.
Good to hear from you, sir. What is happening in Gabon? And you are Amazonian living in Gabon, I guess.
Yes, 100% Amazonian.
Okay. What is your contribution today, sir?
Secretary Chris, my contribution is what I would like us to see now is to make sure that we should make sure we take maybe 10 fighters from each LGA and put all the AKs that are scattered everywhere and fight this fight once and for all, because we have so many sticks now that we can use and fight, but they are not in order. This LGA is having 10 sticks, the other LGA is having 10 sticks, of which we cannot create an impact. If we have 100 sticks put together, we can look for the soft target and do the job and do some harvesting. So take note of that. That is the security should take note of that.
That is a very important point, and I can assure you that something is being done. We have the Federal Marshal program coming up soon, and the IG is working really hard to equip them in the way they are able to confront any challenge, whatever it is, be it those attacking our people, abducting people, taking ransoms. The Federal Marshal is going to see that all these atrocities on the ground, even from legitimate forces, stop. And of course, La Republique is the biggest target. That is being done, sir. Thank you for the call.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's get another caller. This one from Ground Zero. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello? I guess this is about network. Okay, another ground zero. Hello?
Hello, good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. May I know what county you are calling in from, please?
I'm calling from Fako Country, Munya precisely.
Munya, precisely. You people did a marvelous job. You shut down even that busy Moya market. I saw the streets were wide empty. How are you doing today, sir?
No, fine. The present lockdown has given more courage to the people here in Munya. Everywhere they are talking that, yes, this lockdown has shown that we are winning and the people are very happy. We deliberately remain in the house. Not that we were forced to remain in the house. We remain deliberately. People should move on, Secretary Chris. We are behind people.
Thank you. Thank you. Very, very comforting to hear that. You guys are the real guys. Keep it up. Keep it up. We're going to have more of this to do before we get to Boya. Okay, God bless you all.
Thank you.
Barrister John, you should say something to the courage of these people on ground zero, please.
Like I said before, our people are resilient, they are determined, and those of us in the diaspora should also be determined with money to make sure that the momentum is maintained. Our people on ground zero, they need the money. Our restoration forces need the money to fight. The fight begins tomorrow. The fight has already started. Like somebody said, the fight is starting now. So I'm calling on everybody in the diaspora to go to the CID program and put your money. To go to your LGA and give the money. And to, again, more especially, to go to log in on the ABC club and pay your ABC club dues. The minimum is $5. It's not too much to ask.
Yes, Barrister John, we cannot say that enough. Ambazonians, ground zero is not going to let us down.
Yes.
The only people that will let us down will be the diaspora. Ground zero doesn't have the money, but they have their lives to give for this. You can never say you've given enough. You can never say so. We have to keep on giving until this war has become history. Yes. Again, we're asking you, look for your county. There is no Ambazonian in the diaspora who doesn't have a county. Please identify your county, support your county, and we hope that these counties will begin to put on some town hall fundraisers. You cannot come and sit only on ABC to want to raise money. Put town meetings all over the place. Invite some of us who will come and raise funds for your communities, for your counties. Please. We cannot allow these boys go to war with their bare hands. What they have is not enough. Thank God we are beginning to produce these things on ground zero. We don't have to go to ground one anymore to buy these things. Let's furnish them with the money they need for the equipment they need to prosecute this war. Let me take the next caller. Hello.
For bringing us Barrister Fru once more. I would like to know from Barrister Fru, how come we were divided? How come the northern British Cameroon went to Nigeria and we are stuck with this French? How come there was that division? Who created the two different votes, yes or no? I would like to hear that from Barrister Fru. Thank you.
Okay, Barrister Fru, you have the mic.
Yes, you must know that. The British and the French, they divided Cameroon during the German days, and the British took the northern part and the southern part. And for some reason, the British have the northern part separately from the southern part. And when the so-called illegal plebiscite came, they took the plebiscite in the southern part and took the plebiscite in the northern part separately. And the northern part voted to go to Nigeria. And of course, the fake election that took place on the 11th of February in the southern part claimed that we went to La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon, you must know that we did not have unification. They just moved into our territory, no negotiations, nothing. So I don't want to waste time talking about exactly what happened, but that is the nutshell of what we are living today.
All right. Let's take in the next caller. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. I was speaking in our dialect. Pidgin. Yeah, I'm going to speak with the Pidgin.
That is okay. Go ahead.
Yes. The thing, say, there's a guy in Do that.
Hello. I think you have a bad connection. Hello?
So I'm going to go from Do for work on Friday.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you. The connection is very bad. Your connection is very bad. We can't hear you. I will have to take the next caller. Hello. Hello.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you. The connection is very
Hello.
Your connection is very bad. We can't hear you.
Please, when you call, if you call and your television set is not turned down, the volume is not turned down, I can't take your call because then we have an echo that disrupts the whole thing. All right, let me try this caller. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Ground Zero.
What county? Okay.
Country.
All right. Tell us, what is your contribution?
Yeah, my contribution is how we want you people at the studio to help us because there is a message flying all over social media. Somebody calling himself Eric Tato or something like that, that there will be a continual lockdown tomorrow.
Okay, the connection is... Thank you. I think I got you somehow. Barrister John, I think you were saying that there is somebody on the social media saying that lockdown continues tomorrow. No, absolutely not. Fellow Ambazonians, this lockdown was meant for February the 6th to the 11th. That which means lockdown will be officially as announced by this interim government and midnight today. That means if you're on ground zero, when you wake up in the morning, get to your business, get to your job location, whatever you do, please be at liberty to do whatever you have to do. Barrister John.
Yeah, Chris, this is the work of the enablers that we're talking about, the work of the detractors, the
Right.
so-called activists who are working for La République du Cameroun. We have said that from tomorrow our people are free to go about their business. Let nobody stay home tomorrow because he has heard from Eric Tato and from whoever. Please, the lockdown has ended, it will end at midnight today. And tomorrow morning, all our people should go about their business so that they can be able to feed themselves. We have suffered for 6 days and that's enough. We have given La Republique du Cameroon a sleepless night for 6 days. We should be congratulating ourselves instead of some people trying to punish our people. The
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Lockdown
can go to blesses.
Right. Again, ground zero, any activist who tells you that lockdown continues tomorrow is an enabler. He is not speaking from this interim government. If you take instructions from the interim government and the interim government says lockdown is over at midnight today, it is over. All right. Hello.
Hello, St. Chris.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Northern Zone.
Okay.
Ground zero. I just want to reach to you to tell you that I will be calling you again after this for us to talk, but definitely about the security issue, about tomorrow, careless about those foolish activists that they want to make like they are imposing tomorrow for a lockdown. We are very sure the interim government has passed a word that it ends today. People will be out tomorrow, but it is not everybody that may be out for some security reason, because we have given these people a cold bath. So they must look for a way to revenge. Some of our communities tomorrow will be taken care because people cannot just jump out. People will take their time
Right.
to look how the environment will show before they go out. So if anything happens, let no activists take credit, because we here, we are very vigilant. We know the environment. Even right now, we are hearing of gunshot everywhere. So we know that tomorrow may be a revenge on our poor civilians. So definitely, people are still skeptical. They will be looking how tomorrow will be to be able to move out. Even the vehicles that were supposed to load from Yaoundé to Bamenda and from Douala back, they have not loaded, not because they expect that tomorrow is a ghost town, just because they want to do the observation,
Right.
because of the cold bath that we have given to these people. These our civilians should be very wise.
Thank you.
Let no activist
Thank you.
take-
Thank you.
let
Thank
no
you.
activist
Thank you
take
for that
credit.
explanation.
We take the instructions from the IG. We respect the IG, and that is what we follow here on Ground Zero. I don't even want you to bother yourself talking about the KIG. They exist in no place in Ground Zero. Forget about those people. And I want to appreciate Newton Tucker for accepting that it's only the LGA and the county that can work, because they go and align with the ADF. I thought they were supposed to be talking about ADF. If they are talking about the LGA and the county, therefore, they are considering Sako as their president. We should give him a shout for that, because they are not coming to their senses. If somebody deny you and they accept your idea, therefore that person is under you. So we should not even fight them. We should thank God that at least they are coming to the limelight. Sako is up.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's a wonderful call. On that note, we are going to end the calls. And by the stand, so I will give you. Let me take this caller who has been trying to call to no avail. Let me see if I can get her. Hello. Hello. Okay, okay, yes. I give you 50 seconds.
Hello?
Your network is not very good. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, I will get my brother already will come out for that side for Kwakwa, the pass go Pondu.
Okay.
So they go for now they shake that the material, they worry. So you don't get phone for really contact owner.
Okay, that one you know, so we're not talking for television, right? When if you call or send message privately, and we will talk about that one. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right, Barrister John, you have the last word. I think we've had enough time here.
Chris, I'd like to thank God for yesterday and on the 9th. And for these 6 days that the Lord has protected our people, we have sent a message. We have the referendum is 99.9% successful, and that the international community has heard us. La Republic has heard us, and that's why they are trembling. Fear has gripped them, and they are now meeting in Yaoundé. We thank God for what is happening. I'll call on our people on ground zero and the restoration forces to stay the course. We thank them very much.
All right. Thanks for joining me, Barrister John, and I want to thank my early guests, Secretary Ambrose and NSC spokesman, Comrade Lagme. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all that we had for you in this live broadcast. However, I wish to remind you that the President, Dr. Samuel Ekomesako, shall be live tomorrow to address the nation. Oh no, is it tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow Wednesday. He shall be live tomorrow Wednesday around this very time, or maybe before this time, to address the nation, to appreciate, to say thank you to our restoration forces, and of course to Ground Zero. And I also wish to add, to remind you, do not be intimidated with any losers, activists out there trying to pass or send another message to you through intimidation that lockdown continues tomorrow. Absolutely not. It is over tonight. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you all. And I guess we're going to see again. I think Saturday. I think we're going to see again on Saturday. And let me leave you with this piece of country music, My Bamenda. Good night.
Who no know say now you be the best. Who no know say now you be one mama Come on, let's do it now. My Bamenda my fine baby. My Bamenda my sweet mama. Let me tell you something about this, my sweet mama. The only woman who give it me to grow and make me a man. Thank you, for the love you showed me. Without you, my Bamenda, I know for the existing. Thank you, my Bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the short you say for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon, like Africa in the one leg. My Bamenda, my fine baby. My Bamenda, my sweet mama. Some people say you too small to change the country. Others say you're not big good for make things work. But just a name in this country, people them they shiver. The way we are picking them, they also people them they wonder. Thank you, my Bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the strength you say for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon, like Africa in the one leg. My Bamenda, my fine baby. My Bamenda, my sweet mama. My brothers and sisters all over the world. Whatever you do, always think about your home. It's a place where you will come back some days. Let's clean it up, let's build it, love. Thank you, my Bamenda. Thank you, my homeland. God bless you, my mama. For the strength you say for your children. I am proud of you, you are rich. I am proud of you, you are strong. You defeat the whole Cameroon, like hardworking sons and daughters of this great northwest region of Cameroon. I want you to stand up and dance, because the time has come when we have to put our heads and hands together in order to build this our lovely and only region. You are rich, I am proud of you, you are strong, you defeat the whole Cameroon, like Africa in the wonderland.
Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we want to know who owns the land. I want to know who owns the land. Aslan, hey, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan, in history. We've been here since creation. We've been here since creation. What a wonder. Since the time of sun and sand. Since the time of moon and stars. Since the time of air and sea. Since the time of men and things. We must run from Cape to Cairo. And then look through my promised land. Promised land. Oh! Okay now. Now I want to talk to my Ira Daniela, oh, I will know. Yeah, Ira Daniela, oh, I will know. I believe so over Daniela. Now we are the crossroads. On the Pemo, don't be lost. I believe so over Daniela. On the Pemo, don't be lost. Oh, Palimu Meya Zera Baba. Yeah, oh, Palimu Jasu Yaraka. Oh, Palimu Tizanya Betonye. Oh, Mimi. Oh, Mimi. Oh, Demena Bogise. Oh, Palimu Demena Bogiso. Oh,